This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. It is where parts for nuclear weapons and atomic reactors were produced, and although it was closed years ago, the plant located in Manatee County in the community of Talavast continues to this day to leave a legacy of concern about contamination and health effects in the mostly African-American community. Even a project to put in new sidewalks is raising concerns about what is being dug up, what lies below. Are local residents being told the truth? And what can they do to find out? Tonight, two local residents speak up, and a powerful state senator joins their cause. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And once again, Hurricane Matthew dominates those top 7 stories. We begin with the latest and Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, some good news on Matthew. Is no longer a major hurricane. Top winds have dropped below that threshold now. They're at 110 miles an hour, still a very strong Category 2 hurricane and causing trouble along the northeast coast. Not as much as it could have had the eye been very close to the northeastern part of the state, but for the time being, a storm surge anywhere from 3 to 5 feet has occurred from St. Augustine northward to Jacksonville and down near Daytona Beach. This is the center. It is offshore, and it has not made landfall in the state. It brushed by the Cape earlier today, causing 102-mile-an-hour wind gusts there, but no hurricane-sustained winds have been reported or recorded, for that matter, for the Florida coast. We have had hurricane-force gusts, obviously, and very strong tropical storm-force winds across the area. No major hurricane-force winds, I should say, sustained across our coast. Now, as far as the center is concerned, it looks like it's getting a little better organized, but it also looks like it's moving further off toward the northeast as of late. The National Hurricane Center suggesting that it is moving to the north, though. Top winds are at 110 miles an hour, and it's still a good deal off the coast of Jacksonville. We're getting that wraparound, and that's causing that high tide and also that little storm surge to occur. The forecast path and track still, if you follow the center line, keeps it just off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, but there's still a chance it could be on this side of the cone as well, or possibly even on the right side being much better for Georgia and South Carolina. And then it heads back, as we've been talking about all the past couple of days now, as a tropical depression into the Bahamas, something they can handle there with winds possibly around 35 miles an hour. Well, here's a look at the radar imagery showing the system, again, continuing to push off. It looks like more toward the northeast. We'll give you a little wider perspective of that, and you can see it quite clearly. About 70 to 80 miles off the coast of Jacksonville tonight. More in our weather for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Alan?
Thanks, Bob. As Hurricane Matthew continues to head north, Governor Rick Scott is warning it still can do substantial damage before it leaves the state. The storm is bearing down on the Jacksonville area after soaking Daytona Beach. There are still more than 1 million people without power. Some of the hardest hit counties are Brevard, Indian River, and Volusia, where more than half of the residents in those counties are without power. Senator Marco Rubio says aid is already being organized.
FEMA has positioned resources in Central Florida, in Orlando area, and they're beginning the process of identifying what each area needs and responding accordingly with the tarps and the generators and everything that it will take over the next few days.
As of 6 o'clock, more than 1 million Floridians remain without power. Many gas stations across the Suncoast either ran out or ran short of fuel yesterday. One Costco gas station in Sarasota says it sold 8,000 gallons more than its daily average yesterday. A few stations in Ellington started the day with no fuel at all. Emergency deliveries are helping replenish the supply. State officials say they are working to increase the number of trucks moving fuel across the state. The International Red Cross is making an emergency appeal for almost $7 million to help storm victims. It would provide medical aid, shelter, water, and sanitation help to 50,000 people in Haiti impacted by Matthew. Here at home, the American Red Cross of Southwest Florida is opening its doors to volunteers looking to help out.
We have folks here from all over the country, literally Maine, Connecticut, Washington State, California, Ohio, about 25, 28 people at this point. We're expecting a few more in today.
UNICEF says it needs $5 million to help children in need in Haiti. The World Food Program says it has enough food to feed 300,000 people for a month and is working to distribute it. Thousands of evacuees from the East Coast made their way to the Sunny Coast ahead of Hurricane Matthew, and most of them are now returning home. Manatee County is closing all its 5 shelters it opened. Overnight, the Red Cross, Sheriff's Office, EMS, and National Guard were on site. Evacuees we spoke to are unsure about what they will be returning to.
I was hearing about it from my friends and how they were talking about, like, when the storm was there too, they're talking about how the power kept on going on and off, the rain, the wind, hearing it. And I was just really worried for them and everything.
I'm anxious to go back to find out, to see. I really want it. I wish I could see right now what happened.
Sarasota County opened a shelter in Englewood, which is now closed. Only one family spent the night there. As shelters close, first responders in Manatee are repurposing some of the storm relief donations for the county's less fortunate. Around 75 pillows and 200 blankets donated by residents. The Department of Health and Medical Reserve Corps will now go to Manatee's Turning Points homeless shelter. Those resources will be split between the one-stop center and the annual Homeless Veteran Service event next month. First responders in both Venice and Northport were called upon today to help with emergency response. Firefighters from around the state, including Venice and Northport, have sent crews to the East Coast to help victims and clear debris. While Venice's team was prepared to head into damaged areas, they are now being sent home.
If we were ever affected to that magnitude and had an issue, that they should understand that this state emergency response plan works for our benefit as well, and so we would have all those resources coming to us.
The Northport team is still on its way to the East Coast. They have not been told which city they will be assisting. Hurricane Matthew is resulting in canceled vacations and stranded tourists, with more than 4,500 flights canceled so far between Wednesday and tomorrow. With airports experiencing major problems, terminals are deserted, and travel remains at a standstill. Some made it out while they could. Others have been forced to stay, leaving many travelers tired and frustrated trying to find alternative routes home.
Our original flight out of Orlando was canceled. We are actually going to Clearwater and then driving to the Tampa airport tomorrow to fly out.
Airport officials say to check your flight before you go to the airport. The domino effect from Matthew is causing delays and cancellations everywhere. And still to come, a former beryllium plant was finally demolished last year, but some residents fear sidewalk improvements could be letting loose dangerous contaminants. We'll have that story when we return.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
It once produced parts for nuclear weapons and atomic reactors. The site of a Cold War-era defense contractor is leaving a toxic legacy, still impacting residents of a Manatee County neighborhood. It closed down decades ago, but as Adam Cellini reports, residents are still waiting for answers and worried about what's buried below.
That has happened. We don't know why.
Yvonne Ward is watching her home sink into the ground, and nobody can tell her why.
I don't know, but the thoughts are that there's nothing underneath there.
Now, as a sidewalk improvement project inches closer to her property, she wishes someone from Manatee County would at least take a closer look.
And we just need a little bit more communication with the powers that be.
For years, the members of this Tallahassee community have begged Manatee County for improvements like a sidewalk, but now they worry the county is overlooking some of the safety protocols. Anytime shovels hit the ground here, residents fear what may come up. From 1961 to 1996, metal particles from the American Beryllium Company's operations slowly contaminated the soil and groundwater in Tallahassee. While the plant's final building was demolished last year, the community hired an environmentalist to monitor the air quality. They had hoped the county would provide one for this project.
We had a promise from the county that they would not send their crew or any crew out here without monitoring, air monitors. They got dirt piled up, no monitors. The county promised us. It's almost like anything they promised us, they've taken back.
But the county says that's not true. According to Public Works, the sidewalks were requested by the community in March, and the project was coordinated with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
Each step along the way, we've been consulting DEP with the scope of work and what we're doing, and so that they're in the loop, and we've been getting their approvals along the way.
And while they do appear to be digging pretty deep in some spots, DEP tells us contaminated soil is only on the old site now owned by Lockheed Martin. They say construction of sidewalks off-site would not be affected by any contaminated soil from the Lockheed Martin property. Additionally, the sidewalk construction is shallow and would not come into contact with any contaminated groundwater because the groundwater is located at least 15 feet below the surface. But as an extra precaution, the county is removing all excavated soil in dump trucks.
The county has spent an additional $180,000 in the area by taking the dirt on the top of the roadway. That layer of dirt is coming off, and new dirt is being trucked in, and the old dirt is being taken to a landfill.
Still, Ward says she's waking up with nosebleeds and breathing trouble. Thing she worries is from contamination.
Yeah, I think they're trying, but there's something amiss.
Some thought that the sidewalk improvement project would be completed by September, but weather has pushed that date back to mid-December. In Manatee County, Adam Cellini, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
When we return, we'll talk to Tallahassee residents about their concerns, along with State Senator Bill Galvano, about what could be done to provide the public with information about these incidents.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Vargas. Working the late shift can be tough on your health, but new research is showing it's not as bad for women as once thought. Monday on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll show you how working overnights impacts a woman's risk of certain cancers. John?
After a pretty nice weekend, we'll take a look at the work week ahead, let you know whether we'll have any more tropical impacts.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you. If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, dining segments, local events, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 specialty programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device and download your free ABC7 app now.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
And joining us for more on the concerns over contamination in the Tallahassee community is Florida State Senator Bill Galvano, Laura Ward, President of Focus Incorporated, and Wanda Washington, Vice President of Focus. You know, Wanda, I'm going to start with you because when we were just talking about this before we came out here, this still is a very emotionally distressing situation for you.
Yes, it is. We still feel there's a lot not being shared. There's still secrets in the community. No one's upfront and honest with us. We don't get fed information, so notification becomes extremely important for our little community.
This goes beyond the sidewalk issue.
Way beyond the sidewalk issue.
But it basically goes to what your concerns have been for many years.
Yes.
Senator Galvano, you dived into this issue a couple of years ago when you heard about this. You know, what was your journey in terms of, because you got legislation passed to try to prevent something like this from happening again?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me, and it's a privilege to be with these community leaders to my left. It was actually not my journey, it was our journey. And this began in 2005 after we discovered that contamination had seeped into the water supply of this community and into the soil. And for over 4 years, the government knew about it. The owners of the plant knew about it, but the community did not know about it. And it was just a disgraceful situation. And I cannot blame anyone in this community for being suspect of anything that's occurring out there, even up until today.
Laura, when did you first realize or suspect something was wrong?
We first suspected there was something amiss within the community in 2003. We noticed that there was a company drilling wells within the community, and one morning I woke up and one of those rigs was on my property, and I started to question it. From there, we just investigated everything that was possibly happening, and that's how we found out there was contamination in the area.
And Senator, this led you to help pass legislation that did what?
That required that if the Department of Environmental Protection knew or had knowledge of a contamination coming from one site to another, and the property owner had that knowledge, that it would then be shared with the community, that it wasn't a discretionary thing for the DEP or the owners of the property to deal with and keep to themselves, so that people like Laura and Wanda and the rest of the community would know right away that contamination had seeped out and was in their water supply.
Now, it just so happens that this issue came up again with the recent sinkhole at the Mosaic plant in Polk County and in Pinellas County with the discharge of wastewater, and we'll get that to in a couple of minutes. But you know, we heard the county talk about with this sidewalk project that they did everything that they were supposed to do, and you're giving me a look on your face like you don't quite believe that.
No, I don't believe that. When we were told that they were going to place sidewalks within the community, the sidewalk project is something that the community has asked for years. We've wanted sidewalks because it was going to make our travels along the roadway easier for our children. And when they came to us to present the project, what they're doing is not what they presented to us. So that is part of the problem with what is happening. And as we've talked with Manatee County officials over the project, they have said, well, we added a couple of extra things, but you did not change the plans to present to me.
All right, we're going to dive into this more in our next segment. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you the latest on Hurricane Matthew.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Our roundtable discussion continues in a moment, but right now, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan has the latest on Hurricane Matthew. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. I'll tell you what, get a look at this. This is the hurricane. It is now a Category 2 hurricane. It has been downgraded. It's still a powerful storm, 110-mile-an-hour winds, but it's kicking the winds up, and there's putting some debris in the atmosphere in the east coast, or the eastern portion of the Gulf of Mexico. By the way, some history on this. It is now ranked as the 5th longest hurricane as a major hurricane. It is tied with Fabian back in 2003. So this was a very powerful storm, this Matthew. And if you look at all the energy that the tropical systems generated this season thus far, Matthew takes over half of them for this year in the Atlantic Basin. Pretty amazing storm. And what's happening outside our studios, and Tower Cam is getting a look at this, is purple sky almost. I know some photos will be sent in to pics@mysuncoast.com, and that's the result of that particulate matter that's picked up with these strong northwesterly winds and the sun setting, creating this purple sky, if you will. We saw this a couple of months ago too, similar conditions. Let's go and show you what's happening at Lakewood Ranch. I'll step out of the way, and you can see the clouds on again and off again, moving on through with some clearing, and even at Lakewood Ranch, you'll see the last frame there, making for some brilliant colors there as well, a little reddish there though. As far as the storm is concerned, well, it looks like, if you look at the radar imagery over the past few hours, it's making a little break more so toward the northeast here. And they're getting some deep convection around the at least northeastern portion of the eye wall there. And that's good news somewhat for Georgia, although this may just be a temporary little loop, if you will, and then it may start to head back toward the Carolina coast. We'll see how it works, but the cone of uncertainty does cover all of that. Some show it going off toward Georgia and the Carolinas, while others keep it a little bit further out into the Atlantic. Well, things are starting to get a little bit better, but still, we're getting the offshore flow now from Jacksonville. Storm surge there was anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. The estimates were a little higher, expected to be higher there, but that did not happen. Again, that's the result, a direct result of this storm being farther off into the Atlantic. And you can see some heavy rainfall into Georgia still going on. And looks like the storm center is still getting a little wider as we speak, and it may be weakening even more so on the next advisory coming out at 8 o'clock. For us, there's a chance for a brief shower here and there. All the warnings have expired for us. There are still some tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings for northeast Florida. 30-foot waves still being generated by this storm off in the Atlantic. 82 degrees right now, and we have a feels like temperature of 88. That's due to the fact we have a high dew point at 74. Winds out of the northwest, still brisk at 16, but we've had gusts as high as 25 throughout the last few hours. 86 the high, 87 is our normal, so pretty close on that number. The actual low this morning was 79 degrees, well above the average, and no rainfall to report. You can see the water vapor imagery showing quite a bit of moisture heading on into South Carolina. Now, if it continues on this northerly flow, they're going to get a little bit bigger storm surge into South Carolina and parts of Georgia. So far, it hasn't been too terrible here in Florida. In Jacksonville, there are some reports of flooding obviously going on there, but it could have been much worse if it was right there hugging the coastline, like some of the models had suggested, but other models were also suggesting that it would be just off the coast, and that's certainly what happened overnight and throughout the day today. So the forecast looks much better, doesn't it? Temperature is still warm tomorrow, 88 degrees. We'll have some sunshine and then slightly cooler weather on Sunday and Columbus Day. We'll be right back after this.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Hurricane Matthew made its mark, and now you can help those in its path. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We'll learn about ShelterBox and how this Suncoast company is making a big difference in disaster relief. Our trends expert is having a baby any day now, and she shows us products for when baby comes home. Plus, creative cocktails are truly an art with Pangea Lounge and J-Pan Restaurant in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
They took that stress,
and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident. And it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing water and soil contamination in the Tallahassee neighborhood. Our guests are Florida State Senator Bill Galvano, Laura Ward, President of Focus Incorporated, and Wanda Washington, Vice President of Focus. And, you know, Laura, I want to start with you because where we left off just a few minutes ago, you take exception with what the county is doing right now and that the county said it would do more. Could you talk more specifically about that?
Yes, we invited the county in to give a presentation. We were sent copies of the plans for the sidewalk project. We were of the opinion it was a 3-week project, that it was not going to take the amount of time that it has taken. Also, it was only supposed to be put the sidewalks down, put everybody's driveways or whatever back to the present status that they were when they went in. And that is not what's happened, because they've included a lot of extra things, along with having to stop the water supplies to homes between 15th Street and the railroad track for overnight time. They have decided to put in a sidewalk on an additional street that was not in the plans. All we're asking is keep us abreast of what your changes are, so that we will know how to inform the community to tell them what to do and where to go.
Senator, do they have a point?
They do. I mean, knowledge is power. I mean, there's a history with this community. So you would expect the community leaders in the community to be suspect anyway, rightfully so. If they want information, they should get information, real-time information. If there's a question, then government, whether it be the county or the state, should step up and provide that information or those tests.
Of course, just in the last couple of weeks, this has become a major issue in our entire area. First, there was the sinkhole in Polk County at the Mosaic plant, and then also the wastewater discharge in Pinellas County. And the governor had to issue an emergency order that would require local residents to be informed if there was an immediate health concern. Why doesn't the law that you helped pass back in 2005 cover that?
Well, remember, if you go back to 2005, there was no requirement. That's why this community was contaminated for a 4-year period without any of the residents knowing. When we put the law in, there was actually some rulemaking after we raised concerns, and I didn't think the rulemaking went far enough, and so we legislated it. And that law has some thresholds and a time constraint. What the governor has done is shortened that time frame and made it even more imperative that that information gets out. And I think it's appropriate to do that, and it's time to revisit the law that we passed back 10 years ago and make it even tighter.
How?
Well, we can shorten the time frame for one. That's if you look at the governor's executive order, it's a 24-hour period. My staff has been working with his staff. The governor and I have had a specific conversation about this, and we're going to build on the good work that was done 10 years ago. But it's legislation, and it doesn't just happen overnight. But I do intend to work on this with him this session.
So whether there is the discovery of a contamination from a long-term plant like this, or a wastewater dump or sinkhole, that residents will learn immediately about it rather than have a longer lead time.
Correct. And the argument for the longer lead time from the agency has been that some time to make a determination. But you know what? Let's make that determination together. If there are chemicals crossing property lines, people deserve to know.
I want to get to another area, and that is whether residents are still concerned about the health impacts of the contaminants from this beryllium plant. And Wanda, I mean, I know this is a very emotional and concerning issue. What are your thoughts?
sure the community is very concerned over health issues. We had a health survey that was done, and we have many cancers. We have homes with 5 and 6 cancers in one home. Since they've been digging, we've had cancer deaths in our community. It seems that things are reoccurring. When activities start to happen, the community reacts. You start to see illnesses resurface.
Yet they say that any kind of contamination would be on the property of the plant itself and would not have leached into the neighborhood. You're giving me that look again like you don't believe that.
Well, why do we have a 200-acre, a 200-plus acre area that's contaminated now if it stays on site? Initially, they removed soil, they changed the water, the means by which we were getting our water. We no longer use our wells, and the contamination is still spread over 200 acres within the area. So why would it not go off site? The plant that's there now, they've had a couple of leaks, and it should not be producing anything that is going to be a problem, even if they did. But for them bringing the waters that they are cleansing, which they have not done, through the processing system there, they may get some contamination.
You know,
from
I've investigated situations like this, not only all around Florida, but around the entire country. And I do know that even when there are cancer clusters, causality, to use a legal term, is awfully hard to prove.
Yes, very true. And being a lawyer as well, that oftentimes presents a challenge. But you know, having worked with this community and these two ladies for the last 10 years, there are things that really make you step back and ask some hard questions.
You once thought about asking that the community should be relocated.
I thought that was an appropriate step. I mean, you know, even if you just look at it from the perception side, knowing what they know has occurred adjacent to their community and within their community, and just the stress of that, the questioning that would go on. I believed that would have been a good plan, and we had tried at one point to make that happen. I don't know if it's still on the table.
Where did that go?
I have no idea where that went. The community is still searching for it. We're still looking for relocation.
Well, I'll tell you where it went, and I had laid out a plan with their cooperation. It just required certain entities to put skin in the game, and I was willing on behalf of the state to work with my colleagues to convince them to put some state dollars into the relocation, but we would have also required dollars from the county and dollars from Lockheed Martin at that time.
Who hedged?
Well, it's we had a couple of meetings. In fact, I think it was actually even laid out in the Herald at one point, and we didn't get to that next step. I had sent an invitation out to have what I considered a mediation, for lack of a better word, to bring all the parties in, and we just didn't get the response that was.
Lockheed Martin decided they would restore the community. It may take 100 years to restore it, but they decided they would restore it versus relocating.
And that's a decision they can make unilaterally?
That's the way.
Hope not, but yes.
I guess the question becomes, you know, what happens now?
Well, I can tell you that having talked with them about the sidewalk issue and the concerns that are there, I think we'll go out, we'll visit the site. I want to hear from you all what you think might give you some more comfort, or what you need to know, and maybe we can address it from a state level again.
I'm not sure if you're aware, they had 5 years to start the treatment in the community, and we received a TPOC letter back in January. They had committed to 99% of the contamination being gone in the first 5 years, and only 12% of the contamination was actually remediated out from under that community.
Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about here, and a lot more to investigate, and I'm going to put us on the mark right now and saying that we're going to join you in this effort. So Let's take a break
Thank you.
right now, and we're going to come back with final thoughts from our guests when we come back.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jaffe Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Hurricane Matthew relief efforts from a local company, plus products for when baby comes home, artsy and creative cocktails, and J-Pan restaurant.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
File in the Senate to even tighten more of the regulations on contamination and notice.
But and that is terrific. But these folks are still living in this neighborhood, and many others. They're concerned about what happened in the past and their health in the future. You know, we talked about the fact that if you tried to litigate this in court, it would be very expensive, and it's very difficult to do. So, what would you like, both the county, the state, and maybe even the federal government to do now?
You want to take that one? Go ahead. Well, I think at this point, the only thing that is going to appease the residents, and that when I say the residents, those of us who are homeowners, it's for us to be moved from an area that is an industrial area. It is already designated industrial. It's not a good place for us to live. It's already been proven that they cannot clean the contamination from the area in the time period that they've set aside. So something else has to be done.
And from a relocation standpoint, if I'm hearing the community would still think that's probably the best solution. Obviously, we thought so a while back. I'll commit to work with you on that plan again.
We need some health issues, some health answers also.
Okay.
This is the place where we move things along, and I want to tell you I appreciate you all coming here today, and hopefully we're going to do some good here. So thanks, everyone. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic. Manatee County has become the epicenter for the heroin-related deaths, with 45 fatal overdoses last year alone. Many people are dying because the drug is being cut with the deadly fentanyl or cafenitol. Congressman Ver Buchanan has been advocating for federal funding to fight the problem. We asked what you think about how the money should be used. Shauna Cole writes, rehab programs longer than a few days. Most of these people have no insurance to cover them. They go to get help and providers turn them away. Kathleen Tracy writes, the effort has to be towards putting the dealers out of business. All this talk about rehabbing the users is worthless if there is still all sorts of product to be found with almost no effort. And Buffy McDonald writes, mandatory detox and rehab programs readily available for repeat drug-related offenders. Stop throwing them out on the streets after ER discharge. Addicts do recover and become productive members of society. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. I want to thank our guests for being here tonight. State Senator Bill Galvano represents the 26th District in the Florida State Senate. Laura Ward is president of Focus Incorporated, which represents the residents of Tallahassee, and Wanda Washington is the vice president of Focus. When we return, we'll bring you the latest on Hurricane Matthew, plus stay tuned for your prime time headlines.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
We'll have your primetime headlines coming up, but first, here is the latest on Hurricane Matthew with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, this very strong Category 2 hurricane still bearing down on Georgia now and northeast Florida, and not nearly as strong as it was, but still a very strong Category 2 hurricane with winds at 110 miles an hour. And most of those winds now are still offshore, as they have been all day long. The strongest winds around the core, the center of the storm, which has been moving around 40 to 50 miles off the coast of Florida. Well, we've had an interesting sunset this evening. A lot of clouds around at times with winds out of the west and northwest at 20 to 25, subsiding somewhat right now, but still some breezy conditions occurring. And I had some great photos sent in. This one from Norm Schimmel, who always sends them in. The Sarasota Bay, a beautiful shot right there it is. And we talked about the purple clouds and the purple sky. Well, Kimberly sending this one in, just took this not too long ago and sent it in to pics@mysuncoast.com. Appreciate that one from Venice. Well, Jacksonville not having a very nice sunset tonight. In fact, they're still seeing flooding problems. They still have a lot of water washing on shore, but it's starting to move back offshore now as those winds will switch around to more of a west-northwesterly direction. That's good news because All that water that rushed onshore and into some areas that shouldn't have water on them is now moving back into the Atlantic right now. But that's bad news for Georgia. And also South Carolina could get a significant surge here, a little bit more so. And that is what causes the most damage. People don't realize it's not the wind. It's usually the water that causes the most damage and has the most possibility of life-threatening problems when it comes to it. And you can see this is at a little bit more of an angle here. And as this water comes up, it kind of forces it in this direction. So indeed, the storm surge could be much higher into South Carolina, even if the eye does not make it all the way to land. So this may never make landfall in the United States, but it will cause significant problems. And of course, you can see the eye right there with a lot of deep convection on the northern edge of that. So even if the center doesn't pass over, this actual big band of thunderstorms will make its way onshore, I do believe, into South Carolina throughout the day on Saturday. And for us, a few light rain showers are possible this evening. Nothing heavy, a brief shower here and there possible through the evening, but no warnings, no watches for us. Just some small craft advisory in effect for the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet as well through the day tomorrow and Sunday. 82 degrees right now, still pretty warm out there. Dew point at 73, and winds out of the west-northwest sustained at 14 miles an hour. The high today was 86. And the low this morning was warm, 79. No rainfall to report for us today. We have a slight chance for a morning shower, but not much. And it should stay relatively dry for the next few days. And that's a result of this right here. You see this large swath of dry air extending all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. Once this moves far enough away, and we think it will throughout the day tomorrow, some of this dry air is going to entrain on that northwest wind into Florida. So the humidity value will lower tomorrow night, and Sunday should be rather comfortable to start the day off on Sunday with slightly cooler temperatures around. And as far as we're concerned, we're seeing a few brief showers here along the coast. It will still rain pretty heavy across northeast Florida through tonight and into the early morning hours. Category 2 now, moving to the north at 12, getting close to the Georgia-South Carolina border. And then, yes, we all know about this loop that it's expected to do. It's going to be interesting. We'll be following this for the next 7 days, it looks like, as it heads back toward the Bahamas. As a tropical depression, though, it looks like, with winds at 35 miles an hour. And then it kind of spreads out as far as where it may be in time. We're also watching Nicole, which is going to eventually head back toward Bermuda. Nothing really out there now, but this is a little disturbance the Hurricane Center was watching, about 2 days ago. We'll see how it plays out as it moves into the Western Caribbean in time. Well, here's the forecast then. For 7 days, it looks good. Not much going on. That 20 to 30% chance for rain on Thursday and Friday is if that tropical, whatever's left of it, of Matthew, gets closer to us. It'll bring us a little bit more moisture and a chance for a few showers. Back to you. We'll be right back.
It's time to upgrade your favorite news app. Now, ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a dynamic brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Stay connected with new features that make it easy to submit photos, share stories on Facebook and Twitter, and save stories for reading at a later time. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store. ABC7's all-new My Suncoast News app. Just another way we're here for you. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life. Monday on ABC7 News at 7.
I'd much rather have it be on policy, and I didn't like getting into the gutter.
Round 2 between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The presidential nominees face off in the town hall style debate this time around. We'll bring you full analysis from our experts. I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have that story plus our roundtable discussion.
Monday on ABC7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And Because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. A-N-D services.com.
Now a look at your primetime headlines. More than 800 people are dead in Haiti and 10,000 are homeless after Hurricane Matthew barreled through the island nation as a Category 4 storm earlier this week. Those numbers could continue to rise as emergency responders continue to search. Matthew already wreaked havoc in the Bahamas and now the east coast of Florida. Now Georgia and the Carolinas are in the bullseye. Officials there are urging people, especially in coastal areas, to evacuate. As the storm makes its way northward, President Obama is declaring a state of emergency for all 4 states, ordering federal aid to help with response efforts.
Storm force winds that are affecting the state of Georgia and will continue to do so, we're told, for about the next 24 hours.
It is getting worse, and so we are looking at major storm surges. We're looking at major winds.
FEMA says as the storm moves, so will FEMA's resources going to whatever areas need help. So the question is, what, if any, will this have on your choice for president? Donald Trump is coming under fire tonight, to put it mildly, after the Washington Post released an audio tape of a lewd conversation from 2005. On the recording, the Republican presidential nominee can be heard using vulgar language about his pursuit of a married woman. Here is the least inoffensive excerpt from the recording.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
The Trump campaign has released a statement offering an apology of sorts. This was a locker room banter, a private conversation that took place many years ago. Trump says in the statement, Bill Clinton has said far worse to me on the golf course. Not even close. I apologize if anyone was offended. We'll have more on this developing story as it becomes available. This information comes just ahead of Sunday's second presidential debate. On Monday, ABC7 at 7 will bring you full analysis. And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.